My dear friend, come sit with me for a while. I want to share something that might seem surprising at first, something that may sound almost harsh or even cold. But I promise you, it carries the warmth of deep wisdom and love. You see, when you reach the age of 70 or beyond, you enter a sacred chapter of life, a chapter that is too often misunderstood. Most people believe that as we grow older, we should become softer, more attached, more dependent on the warmth of constant human contact and endless emotional connections. But I want to tell you a different story today, a story about why you must learn to live coldly after 70, not in a cruel or heartless way, but in a way that brings you true peace and inner strength. It is a choice that can liberate you and give you a powerful sense of freedom that most people will never experience. When I say live coldly, I do not mean to shut yourself off from kindness or compassion. Instead, I mean learning to detach from unnecessary drama, to step away from the noise of other people's expectations, to stand like an ancient oak that does not sway every time a small breeze passes. It is about learning to hold your ground firmly, calmly, and with a sense of gentle indifference to things that no longer serve your soul. There is a beautiful study conducted by Harvard University known as the Harvard Study of Adult Development, one of the longest studies on human happiness. Over 80 years, researchers followed people from different backgrounds to understand what truly makes life fulfilling. One of their surprising findings was that the happiest elders were not those who were constantly surrounded by crowds of people. They were those who learned to keep a few close relationships, but did not allow the opinions of others to dictate their peace. They learned to live coldly, with a quiet, independent spirit. When you pass 70, life begins to whisper to you in a different language. It invites you to see that time is no longer something to be wasted on petty conflicts, on resentments that chew at your heart, on social obligations that drain you. Instead, your time becomes a sacred currency. You begin to understand that every breath is precious. By learning to live coldly, you learn to guard this treasure fiercely. You say no more often. You choose silence over endless chatter. You value simplicity over complicated attachments. The great philosopher Epictetus once said that we should learn to distinguish between what is within our control and what is not. When you live coldly, you practice this ancient wisdom daily. You stop trying to fix every problem or please every person. You start focusing only on what nourishes your mind and spirit. Studies have shown that seniors who cultivate this inner calmness and detachment actually have lower levels of inflammation in the body. Chronic stress and emotional turmoil are linked to higher levels of C-reactive protein, a marker for inflammation and cardiovascular risk. By choosing a colder, calmer way of life, you can directly improve your physical health. Your heart begins to beat more steadily, your sleep becomes deeper, your digestion improves because your nervous system finally gets a chance to rest. Imagine the power of that. Simply by stepping back from unnecessary emotional storms, you allow your body to heal and strengthen naturally. Moreover, when you learn to live coldly, you stop fearing loneliness. You see, many people fear solitude like a dark, cold cave. But if you enter that cave bravely, you will discover it is not cold at all. It is full of hidden treasures. You find your true self there. You meet the person you have been too busy to listen to all these years. In solitude, your inner voice grows clearer and stronger. Researchers from the University of California found that seniors who spend time alone in reflective solitude often show higher levels of creativity, better memory retention, and even a greater sense of purpose. They become architects of their own days rather than passengers on someone else's train. By living coldly, you develop an unshakable relationship with yourself. You begin to understand that peace is not given by others. It is built from within, one quiet moment at a time. Another reason to embrace this coldness is to protect your emotional energy. After 70, your energy is like a fine wine. It must be preserved carefully. You can no longer afford to spill it on meaningless arguments or endless complaints about the world. You must learn to conserve your emotional strength for things that truly matter, like tending a small garden, enjoying a good book, or spending a quiet afternoon listening to birdsong. Studies published in the Journal of Gerontology suggest that seniors who reduce social stress and limit exposure to negative relationships have better cognitive function and are less likely to develop depression. Imagine that. By simply stepping back and adopting a slightly colder approach to life's chaos, You protect your mind and spirit. We must also remember that living coldly helps us navigate grief and loss, which become more common as we age. Friends depart, loved ones pass on, dreams we once held so dearly may fade away. If you continue to hold tightly to every attachment, every person, and every memory, your heart will shatter again and again. But when you live coldly, you learn to hold things lightly. You cherish them while they are present, but let them go without resistance when they must leave. This is not about becoming heartless, it is about becoming wise. A study from Yale University found that seniors who practiced acceptance and emotional detachment reported lower levels of anxiety and greater life satisfaction, even when facing major losses. By learning to live coldly, you give yourself permission to grieve and heal without drowning in sorrow. There is also a certain freedom in becoming indifferent to praise and criticism. After 70, you no longer need to prove anything to anyone. You have lived long enough. You have made your mistakes and learned your lessons. You do not need medals or applause. You do not need to satisfy society's ever-changing demands. You simply need to be at peace with yourself. Researchers have found that seniors who detach from external validation are more likely to pursue activities that bring authentic joy rather than those chosen to impress others. Whether it is painting, gardening, walking, or simply sitting in the sun, these activities nourish the soul deeply. You learn to smile at the world without expecting it to smile back. That is the quiet strength of living coldly. Furthermore, living coldly sharpens your focus on the present moment. You stop replaying old arguments in your mind. You stop worrying about the future that no one can predict. Instead, you feel the warmth of the teacup in your hand. You hear the chirping of a sparrow outside your window. You taste the sweetness of a ripe mango fully. Studies on mindfulness in aging populations have consistently shown that seniors who stay present enjoy higher levels of well-being and even experience less physical pain. By choosing a colder, more detached approach, you allow your senses to awaken and savor life's small details. You begin to live more fully, not in a rush to hold on to every moment, but in a gentle embrace of each breath. Now, my friend, you might wonder if this way of living means cutting off love and compassion. Not at all. In fact, when you live coldly, your love becomes purer. It is no longer mixed with expectations or demands. You begin to love people for who they truly are, not for how they make you feel or what they give you in return. Your compassion expands quietly, like the morning sun. You become a silent source of strength for others, without needing their approval or applause. Your love flows naturally, free of conditions and free of neediness. I want to remind you that embracing this coldness is not an overnight transformation. It is a practice, a daily commitment to return to your center, to listen to your own heartbeat, and to respect the silence around you. Start small. Say no to one invitation that drains you. Turn off the news for a day. Sit quietly in the early morning light. Listen to the stories your heart wants to tell you. You will find that each small act of stepping back will build your inner fortress of peace. The wisdom traditions of the world, from Zen monks in Japan to ancient Indian sages, have always spoken of detachment as the highest form of freedom. In your 70s and beyond, you are ready to receive this teaching fully. You are no longer running a race. You are no longer gathering trophies. You are returning home to yourself. You are finding a deeper rhythm that is not shaken by every opinion or every sorrow. In this coldness, there is a surprising warmth. It is the warmth of self-acceptance, the warmth of stillness, the warmth of knowing that your worth has never depended on the outer world. By learning to live coldly, you do not become a frozen mountain. You become a quiet lake reflecting the sky. You hold everything lightly. You live with dignity and gentle strength. So, my dear friend, as you move forward into this precious chapter, I urge you to consider this path. Live coldly, not as an act of defiance, but as an act of deep love for yourself. Protect your spirit, preserve your energy, embrace the solitude that reveals your true essence. Let go of the endless noise, step into the soft silence of your own being. This is where your real peace lives. This is where your true strength lies waiting for you. And in this space, you will discover a joy that does not come and go with the tides of the world, but remains steady and bright. like a hidden flame within your heart. You have earned this peace. Claim it boldly and live the rest of your days with the quiet, fearless courage of one who has finally come home. How do you start practicing this cold? Living in your daily life. My dear friend, let us sit together again, heart to heart. You have heard me speak about the power of living coldly after 70, about how it brings peace and inner strength. Now you might wonder, how do you start practicing this in your daily life? How do you take these words and shape them into real actions that transform your days and give you a new sense of freedom? Let me guide you, as if I am sitting beside you with a warm hand on your shoulder. Because learning to live coldly is not about turning your heart to ice. It is about turning your focus inward, protecting your precious energy, and letting go of what no longer serves you. The first step is to learn the art of saying no. For many years, you might have felt it was your duty to say yes to every invitation, every request for help, every social obligation. But after 70, your time and energy become sacred. You must guard them like a precious garden. When you say no to things that drain you, you say yes to your own well-being. A study published in the Journal of Aging and Health found that seniors who set clear boundaries reported lower levels of depression and anxiety. By choosing what you allow into your life, you begin to create a protective shell around your spirit. It might feel uncomfortable at first. You might worry about disappointing others. But remember, every no is an act of love for your own life force. Next, begin each morning with stillness. Before the noise of the world rushes in, give yourself the gift of silence. Sit quietly with a cup of warm water or tea. Feel the warmth in your hands. Listen to the quiet hum of the morning. In that stillness, you will find a calm space where you can listen to your true needs. Research from the University of Wisconsin shows that seniors who practice daily mindfulness, even for just 10 minutes, have stronger immune systems and improved brain function. By starting your day in silence, you create a calm foundation that helps you remain unshaken by the events and emotions that follow. As you move through your day, practice observing rather than reacting. You might receive a harsh word from a family member or see something that once would have upset you. Instead of letting it enter your heart and disturb your peace, learn to watch it as if you are watching a passing cloud. You see it, you acknowledge it, but you do not let it define your mood or your day. This practice is rooted in ancient Stoic philosophy, and modern psychology confirms its power. A study from the University of Toronto found that seniors who learned to observe their emotions without immediate reaction experienced greater emotional stability and higher life satisfaction. Simplify your surroundings. Take a slow walk through your home and notice what items truly bring you joy and peace. Let go of objects that carry old weight or clutter your space. This act is not only about tidying, it is about creating a physical environment that reflects the inner simplicity you are cultivating. Research from Princeton University shows that a clutter-free environment helps reduce stress and improves the ability to focus. By clearing your space, you clear your mind. You make room for deeper breaths and softer thoughts. Another powerful practice is to spend time alone intentionally. Many people fear solitude, thinking it will bring loneliness, but there is a sacred richness in spending time with yourself. Go for a gentle walk in nature without any device or distraction. Sit on a bench and watch the trees sway or listen to birds sing. Let your mind wander without any goal. According to a study from the University of Chicago, seniors who embrace solitude as a positive choice rather than an imposed state report higher levels of life satisfaction and lower feelings of loneliness. When you choose to be alone, you learn to enjoy your own company. You become your own best friend and source of comfort. Reduce the noise you let into your mind. This can mean limiting how much news you consume, avoiding gossip, or stepping away from negative conversations. Imagine your mind as a small, beautiful garden. Every negative word or story is like a weed that can choke your peace. Protect it fiercely. Research from the University of Pennsylvania shows that constant exposure to negative media and toxic conversations increases stress hormones, which can weaken your immune system and age you faster. By choosing what you listen to and watch, you defend your mental and physical health. Another gentle yet powerful step is to release the need for validation. After 70, you have nothing left to prove. You have walked long roads and climbed many mountains. Let go of needing others to agree with your choices or praise your actions. When you stop chasing approval, you find an incredible freedom. A study from Stanford University found that seniors who shifted their focus from external praise to internal satisfaction experienced greater resilience and happiness. Your worth is not measured by someone else's applause. It is felt in the quiet joy that rises in your own heart when you live true to yourself. In your interactions, speak less and listen more. Silence can be more powerful than 1,000 words. When you listen deeply to others without planning your response, you give them a rare gift. At the same time, you protect your own energy by not engaging in endless debates or trying to convince others of your viewpoint. This shift not only nurtures your peace, but strengthens your relationships. People feel seen and heard in your presence, and you remain steady like a still lake reflecting the sky. Finally, practice gratitude in the smallest details. Gratitude does not need to be loud or shared on a stage. It can be felt in the warmth of the sun on your face, the taste of fresh fruit, or the simple act of breathing deeply. Research from the University of California shows that seniors who kept a daily gratitude practice experience improved heart health, better sleep, and a stronger sense of life purpose. By quietly acknowledging the gifts in each moment, you anchor yourself in the present. You find joy that does not depend on external circumstances, but rises naturally from within. My dear friend, these steps are not grand or complicated. They are small, gentle adjustments you weave into each day. Living coldly is not about becoming distant or harsh. It is about becoming clear, calm, and deeply alive. It is about standing in your own light without fear or need. Every act of saying no, every moment of silence, every choice to step back from drama is a step toward a stronger, more peaceful you. Remember, you have earned this peace. You have gathered wisdom with each year, and now is the time to let that wisdom guide you into a life of gentle power and quiet joy. Trust yourself. Begin slowly, one small act at a time. And soon you will find that this cold way of living is in fact the warmest embrace you have ever given yourself.